Hello and welcome to yet another game of the Dad's Premier League where we have the Avm Yoddhas versus the OIS Tigers. Uh, Toss news is OIS Tigers have won the toss and they have decided to bowl first. It'll be a 20 over contest and we are all set for the first ball. In the air and falls short. And they come for the single, which is the first run of the game. We are in the power play phase where we have two fielders outside the 30-yard circle. There is a man at deep square leg, and the man at deep point is actually coming inside the 30-yard circle. Man at 45 is inside the circle. Will be called a wide. So the first extra of the game. Nicely driven, but straight to the fielder. Nicely played, and that'll find the boundary. Excellent timing, in fact. Nicely picked the length early and just punched it through the backward point region. Yeah, good effort from the fielder, but it just rolls through. So the first boundary of the game. And now there's a change in field here. Nicely bowled. Good comeback by the bowler. So very interesting field here. There is a man out at deep point, and there is a man out at long on. So big shout, but the umpire is not interested, and they scamper through for a leg by. Another change in field here as the right-hander comes on strike. The man at deep square leg comes in. Man at deep point goes out, and the long on goes out. Leading edge, but straight to the fielder. So after the first over, we are 7 without a wicket. So after the first over, we are 7 without a wicket, and the new man into the attack is Bharat, and the openers are Rishi and Chetan. Nicely played, and the fielder in the deep will do the cut-off job, keep it down to a single. Again, the field is actually very identical for both batters. There is a long on and deep point in place. Not very sure of the plans here. They might want to bowl full and not in the slot and wide outside the off stumps. That's why they have the protection in the deep on the offside. Full toss and punch down the ground for a single to long on. So they've just conceded one boundary, but that too not a bowler's error, more of he actually bowled to the field, but the fielder couldn't gather it, collect it properly. but a good effort in the deep. So the fielding side is actually committed to protect the runs in the first 6 overs. Nicely bowled again, and they scamper through for another leg by. And the batters are actually batting outside the 30, outside the crease rather. Cuts and in the gap. Will that go to the boundary? Yes, it does. The man at short third might have been just interested for a while here. If you look at the replay, nicely bowled again. Was a little late on the shot and just finds the gap between the man at backward point and short third man. Still no change in field. They are persisting with the man at the point and a long on. Foolish and driven through covers for four. In fact, beats mid off comfortably. Some crisp driving this by Chetan. Foolish ball trying to find some movement but crisply driven. In fact, punches that beautifully for four. So back to back boundaries for Chetan and the Yoddhas. Cuts, but there is a man in the deep for that shot. So end of an eventful over. 12 came off that one. It's 19 without a wicket after 2 overs. Sumit is back after his first over, driven straight down the ground. There is a man at long on. So they're still persisting with that man at long on for both the left-hander and the right-hander. And a deep point, of course. Abby called a wide, missed his length. And now if we talk about the pitch, the center of the part of the pitch is actually quite green. They've left a lot of grass. Head it's on its way, and that's gone all the way in fact. These are actually gifts for the batting side, especially in the power play. Again, losing his line, and the batter just helped it on its way for six. Good timing, in fact, on that one. In the air, just lands safe. For a moment, the man at point would have been just. In fact, they come back for two. Excellent running. Oh, that's brilliant running. Scamper back for two. Already 10 runs off the over so far. In fact, 11 runs off the over so far. Cuts. And has he beaten the man at deep point? Not quite. Good work in the deep as they come back for two. 12 of the over so far, still a couple of balls left. And Chetan has got off to a flyer here. He's batting on 22 of 9 balls. Again down the leg side. And the umpire actually points that. Oh, there's a run out here. Excellent awareness by the fielder. And that's not good running from the batter either. That's Chetan gone on a very important wicket for the OIS Tigers. Missed the length completely. They wanted to scamper through for a leg by. Latest call from the non-striker. And actually the striker was not very keen. In fact, he's gone by a country mile. That is poor running. And excellent awareness by the fielder. First wicket down for the Yoddhas as Chetan walks back. It's 32 for 1. The new batter in is Vishal after the fall of Chetan off that run out. Incredible awareness shown by the fielder there to be really aware of the situation despite the LBW shout. So final ball of Sumit's over. Just falls short. In fact, finds the gap for 4. So runs coming thick and fast despite the fall of the wicket. And we are 36 for 1 after 3 overs. Again, a bit of width. Just finds the gap between the point and the backward point region. Caressed it through for 4. 36 for 1 after 3 overs. So 36 for 1 after 3 overs. The run out of Chetan in the last over. So change in field now. The two men outside the 30-yard circle are long on and long off. The man at deep point comes into the 30-yard circle as Bharat continues. Starts with the wide. Full toss. Excellent work by the bowler on the follow through. Might have just stopped a certain boundary here. Oh, he's all right. Nicely bowled. Excellent length. Hitting the good length area more. Down the leg side again. Will be called a wide. If we go back to that run out dismissive, the call was actually from the non-striker. So not very sure what the striker was thinking there about the single, or was it exhaustion? As you can see, the batters are batting outside the crease to negotiate any sort of movement. In the air, in fact, that's been punched out of the ground. Find a new ball if you can. That's gone all the way for six. What a shot. Look at the replay in the slot and just thumped down the ground for six. And we have a new ball coming our way. Exceptional shot that. Oh, knocked him over. What a ball. Excellent response by the bowler after that humongous shot down the ground. That came back in sharply as the second wicket goes down. Excellent length. Missed that completely. And the middle stump. And the bails are disturbed. So the second wicket down for 45 runs of the Yoddhas. It's 45 for 2 as Rishi departs. .45 for 2 as the new man in is Vishal P. So two new batters at the crease. Be very interesting to see how they approach the innings. Nicely bowled and nicely played as well. Just riding on the bounce. Full marks to the bowler for coming back with that sort of a delivery after being thumped down the ground for a six. Didn't think a lot about the length that he should bowl. That'll be wide, is it? No. That's the end of the fourth over. It's 46 for 2. So 46 for 2 after 4 overs. Sumit will continue and there'll be a wide. So one or the other over has actually started off with a wide. Again, nicely bowled. Quick single and they come back. Make it through safely. Good running between the wickets, between the two Vishals. Finds the gap and I'll run down to the boundary for 4. That'll get Vishal going. Nicely finds the gap. Rocked onto the back foot, was in the air for a little while, but beats the man at backward point for 4. So when you're having that sort of a field where you have long on and long off in place, you can't afford to be bowling too short. Full in the air and just short of the fielder. Think he wanted to go a little towards the extra cover region, but missed out on that one. Nicely bowled. And the 50 is up on the board with the boundary of the previous ball. 50 inside 5 overs. Short of a length, finds the fielder, and excellent work on the field to stop the single as well. Attack the ball. Final ball of the 5th over. Has he found the gap? You bet he has. Ends the over with a 4. Fuller ball. A little shimmy down the track and found the gap between mid wicket and long on for 4. 56 for 2 now after 5 overs. Fifty-six for 2 now after 5 overs. And Nitish is brought into the attack for the final over of the power play. When you're relatively new to the crease, it's very important as a bowler to be not letting the batter free off or get a lot of runs. Try and pick wickets and create pressure. And hopefully Nitesh can do that for the Tigers. Still batting outside the crease. Again starts with a wide. So a few of these overs have started with a wide down the leg side. Can fully understand they're trying to find some movement. So now the field is very interesting again. There is a man at long off and a man at deep point. Everyone inside the circle on the leg side. As he found the gap, no, just punch down for a single. Again, so the plan from the Tigers here is to not give anything straight for them to work with on the leg side and completely bowl everything outside the off stump. Oh, that's picked. And he's cleared the boundary for six. What a shot. As I was talking about, nothing on offer on the leg side. Exceptional timing on that shot. Again, a bit wide, but straight to the fielder at extra cover. Excellent shot by Vishal. Just picks the length so early. Away wide. So Nitesh has been trying to find some movement off the surface. There have been not a lot of full balls or on that good length area or trying to attack the stumps. Maybe a dead ball just pulled out of the run up. That'll be a wide again. Marginal perhaps. That'll be wide again. So not able to find his line here. Nitesh needs to calm down a bit. Already 11 have come off the first three balls. Oh, nicely bowled. That's exactly the length you want to bowl with the sort of field that you have in place. The leg side is absolutely packed, and the offside behind the batsman is also packed with backward point and short third. Again down the leg side, just trying to get the ball move, but it's not just happening. It's now change in field here. The man at deep point has been called inside, and mid wicket is pushed back to the boundary for deep mid wicket. And the keeper has been asked to come up to the stumps. Again, very interesting to see what sort of length they'd want to bowl here because now the leg side is actually opened up. In fact, the man at long on is present. Excellent bowling. Just inside the tram line. Now the offside is packed, so they've called mid on, sorry, mid off up and pushed mid on back to the boundary. There is a big gap between Mid on and mid off, and he finds that gap. Exactly what I was talking about. Pierces that gap, which I was talking about. Foolish length, and just picked it through the gap, beating deep mid wicket for four. So after the power play, we are 72 for 2. So we're 72 for 2 after the first power play, and the field restrictions have been taken off, which means you can see there is a man in the deep on the offside. There is a long on, long off, and a deep mid wicket. Man at 45 is inside the circle, and you can see a slip in place on the right of your screen. In fact, deep point is inside the 30-yard circle. And spin introduced for the first time in the game. And they come back for two. Excellent running. Excellent running. Another change in field. The man at 45 is being taken out and is being put into extra cover. So there is a man at deep square leg. There is a man at deep mid wicket, long on, long off, and a deep point. Cut away and straight to the man at deep point. Oh, it's rather a deep extra cover than a deep point or a deep cover sort of a position. That'll be a wide. Excellent take by the keeper. Judged the length really well. Sahil has been a bit quicker on this pitch. Might want to bowl a little slower, not to let the batter work with a lot of pace. Nicely bowled again. That was a little slower through the air. Excellent length as well. Exactly why you have a slip stationed. Nicely bowled again. So they are going at about 12 runs an over. In the air, but safely played down to long on for a single. So Sahil needs to bowl that foolish ball, probably make the batter drive and get the edge, or maybe get it chipped to extra cover. Again, excellent bowling. 7 came off that over. It's 79 for 2 after 7 overs. '79 for 2 after 7 overs. We saw the first over of spin, and not a bad over at all because actually found his rhythm, did Sahil. Again picked through but doesn't beat the man at 45. Sajak is into the attack. And it's very important for the two bowlers to be backing up each other after this exceptional start by the Yodhas. Nicely bowled, bowling to his field. And at this stage, anything except boundaries would be accepted by the Tigers, having won the toss and choosing to bowl. The new ball bowlers were a tad bit expensive. Oh, picked it through for six. That's gone all the way. As I've been talking about, it is indeed very important to be bowling in partnerships, and we want a new ball here. Nicely picked it, and it's landed on the roof. Fabulous hit, this by Vishal. As I was talking about, it's very important to be bowling in partnerships after that start in the power play. Oh, that's full toss and put away for six. Might as well get another ball here. Or will that be called a no ball? Not very sure of the height. Nope, it's a fair delivery, but that's gone miles out of the ground. I think that's even bigger than the previous one. Just good batting, but not so good bowling from the Tigers because they've just not hit their length. And the keeper goes to have a word with the bowler. 13 of the over so far. Down the track, but nicely bowled. Saw him come early, but good thinking by Vishal here. Wants to put the pressure on the new batter. Again, similar sort of field for Sajak as well. There is a man at long on. There's a man at deep square leg. There's a man at deep mid wicket and a long off in place along with a deep point. Again, a full toss, and that's been dispatched for six again. Dear oh dear. And that's been called a no ball. Want to find another ball maybe? The third time the ball's lost. Exceptional hit. Have lost that into the trees as we find the new ball here. And that's a free hit. 19 of the over so far. 20 in fact. And does nothing of the free hit. Scamper through for a single of leg by. And that'll be the 100 up for the Yodhas after 8 overs, 100 for 2. Twenty came off the previous over and 100 up already. So 100 up in 8 overs, and all the good work by Sahil in the first over of 7 runs was actually not backed up well. Just missed his length quite a bit here, Sarjak. Sahil to continue. Shot and finds the fielder. We are a little disappointed here. Because might have just put it anywhere he would like to. That'll be a wide and it'll go all the way for 4. So misery continues for the Tigers. Down the leg side and it misses everyone. Goes for 4. That's what pressure does to you as a team. When you're bowling in partnerships, creating those dots. It's all happening here for the Tigers. Nothing going their way. Again, nicely bowled by Sahil. Eight off the over so far. In the air for a while. Leading edge. Just falls safe. Nicely bowled. Good comeback. Except that wide down the leg side. It's been a good over by Sahil. And he's been the pick of the bowlers so far. Although the wickets column shows 0. That's been picked away. And that's gone all the way. Maybe you find another ball. Or keep finding balls for the OIS Tigers to bowl to these Yoddhas. Shot and just picked off the back foot for 6. No mercy shown to that ball. As we come to the end of the over, it's 115 for 2. So 115 for 2 in 9 overs. As Varun comes on to bowl. Going at about 13 runs and over the Yoddhas. As we wait for the keeper to come up to the stumps. 13 runs and over. It's not been very easy bowling out there, especially with the kind of firepower the Yoddhas have. Again picked off, and that's gone for 4. Not a good start. shot again. Enough time on the back foot to be just punched away for four through the mid wicket region. Oh, nicely bowled. Excellent comeback. Just took the batter off guard. Oh, down the leg side. Excellent work by the keeper, in fact. Oh, chance of a run out. No. Oh, there's an overthrow, but they don't come back. It's all happening here. Has that been called a no ball? No, it's not called a no ball. In fact, excellent running, excellent awareness by the two batters to be coming back for two. Pacey delivery on the offside, cut away for a single. Single after a very, very long time here. It's all happening. One 120 is up on the board already. Picked in the air, and that lands safe. The man at deep point was slightly confused as to go for the catch or stop the boundary. Couldn't get any timing on that one. Absolutely no timing. But all safe for the Yoddhas. Played down to long on for a single. Full toss. And it deserves the treatment. That's gone all the way for six. 130 up on the board at the halfway stage. Again, full toss. And the long levers just come to enough use here. 130 for 2 after 10 overs as the players and officials take a drinks break. So we're back after the drinks break, 130 for 2 after 10 overs. 15 came up Varun's first over. All set to resume. Be very interesting to see what sort of plans the bowling side comes up with, especially after winning the toss. There are 130 for 2. Vishal P batting at 40 of 17 balls. Vishal M batting at 30 of 23 balls. As Sahil is back into the attack. As I've been saying, he's the pick of the bowlers, although he's going at about 11 runs and over. But the way he's bowled is actually look potent. Should have had more wickets. And be very interesting to see what sort of approach these two batters take. As you take a look at the field here, long on, long off, there is a man at deep mid wicket. There's a man at deep square leg and a deep point as well. Cuts and misses. So good start to the over. And these two can afford to take a bit of a time given the platform that they've had. But no, no time at all. That's gone for a 4. Picks the length so early. Foolish ball on the middle stump, clears his front leg a bit and dispatches that through the boundary for 4. There is a change in field here. So call the man at deep square leg inside the 30-yard circle. And there is a man at deep mid wicket and long on in place. There's no one at square leg. There's one next to the umpire inside the circle. Again, nicely bowled. These two have been motoring along, finding boundaries at ease. And it's not been very concerning for these two. They've put the bad balls away for boundaries. Nicely bowled again. Just tapped on the offside for a single. So an in and out field here. Has he found the gap? Nope. That will go to the fence for 4. Fielder at backward point tried his best to stop it. Deft touch. And this outfield is just raced away for 4. That'll be a wide. So the plan is to bowl away from the body. In the air. And that's taken. So Sahil is finally rewarded with a wicket. Third wicket down for the Yoddhas. As Vishal M tries to continue the carnage. Foolish ball. Just couldn't get the timing enough. And safely held by the man at long off. So the third wicket down for the Yoddhas at 142. 141 rather, end of the over. 141 for 3 after 11 overs. So 141 for 3 as the new batter in is Saurabh and the new bowler in is Siddharth. Again, very important to actually back up that wicket with a string of dot balls or singles or doubles. Not a lot of boundaries. Starts with a wide again. The key here is to not give away a lot of runs, especially they are at 142 for 3 already in the 12th over. Swing and a miss. So Vishal is actually decided that he's not going to hold back irrespective of what happens. In the air, the man at long on settles under it, but a difficult chance goes down. Good bit of bowling, just slowed it down. Couldn't get enough timing on that one, Vishal. Tough chance under lights. In the air again. Can someone get underneath this one? No. Two fielders converging, but again falls in no man's land. So Siddharth has been doing a fantastic job with the ball so far. Again floats it through, and that's gone for 4. Thinking is right from Siddharth here. Floating it up, but excellent shot by Vishal. Been picking the length so early. He's batting on 46. But I think Siddharth should not be worried about that one. Again in the air. And it's held on to that this time. Finally, Siddharth gets rewarded after a couple of chances. The 4th wicket's down as Vishal departs for 46. Again floats it up. Just a little short this time. Tries to take the aerial route but doesn't get any timing on that one. Safely held by the man at long off. Second catch for him. So 148 for 4. The new man in is Sivanandan as Siddharth gets its first wicket. Well deserved, I'd say. He's been bowling really well. Both these spinners, Sahil and Siddharth, have been bowling well. Gets his first wicket. Again. Oh, that's a difficult chance goes down again. That travelled quickly to the fielder at the point. End of the over, 8 and a wicket. It's 149 for 4 after 12 overs. Vikram comes into the attack. Nicely bowled again. As you look at the last ball of the previous over, nicely bowled. Try to punch it off, but a tough chance goes down. Under lights, it's not very easy catching the ball. Oh, nicely bowled. So Sivalandan has come up with a mindset to actually go from ball one, which is not a bad idea given the platform that they have. And 150 up on the board, just inside 13 overs. In the air and just past the bowler. Again, smart bit of bowling. Just held the length back and put the batters in a bit of a doubt here. Nicely bowled. Oh, excellent running. Good start to the over by Bikram. Not let the batters settle down so far. Kept them on their toes. Needs to continue this throughout the over. Two balls to go. Oh, nicely bowled. Beautifully bowled, in fact. Just looped it. Gave the ball enough air to beat the batter. Again, play on a miss. Brilliant over. Rare one, just three of that one. It's 152 for four after 13 overs. So 152 for four after 13 overs. As Siddharth continues after his first wicket he picked in the previous over. Oh, that's been picked out. That's gone out of the ground into the roof. Fetch that ball, says Sivanandan. What a shot. Foolish ball and the long levers just stomped it out of the ground for six. Nicely bowled. Just pulled his length back a bit and slowed it through the air. That's exactly what the bowlers need to do here. Get away from the hitting zone. Little shout for LBW, but that's gone down little the leg side. Could come back after that six of the first ball. In the air. That has gone out of the ground. I think it's on the roof of the commentary box here. Exceptional power. Again, foolish ball in the hitting zone and just picked. Banged away for six. That's hit the roof. Think that's the ninth or the 10th ball that they've ordered. The umpires. 12 of the over so far. It's 6.6. Again, goes again. Finds the fielder this time. They want the second run. and make it comfortably through. 14 of the over so far. One more delivery to come. Sivanandan has been attacking. Again down the leg side. Come off the thigh pad, I think, or the bat. Oh, chance of run out at the keeper's end, but all safe in the end. That's come off the bat, giving us runs. So 167 for 4 after 14 overs. Banged away. Has that gone all the way? They want to have a look here. Again, long levers of Sivanandan. That's gone for 4. And they scamper through for a single. Shot, and he's found the gap beautifully here. Saurabh is getting into the act as well. Foolish ball and just clears his front leg to find the gap, bisecting the fielders at long on and deep mid wicket. This is some serious batting. Nicely bowled. Good comeback. Call for a stumping. That's given not out, I think. Oh, that's given out on field. Has it? No, it hasn't been. So, all safe. But again, good bowling. Again, nicely bowled. Quicker through the air. So, excellent call on field of that stumping. It's 177 for 4 after 15 overs. Five overs to go, 177 for 4. They're not going to stop, I think. You want to get as many as possible. Nicely bowled. Again, trying to go the aerial route, but not really connecting. Needs to calm down a bit here, Saurabh, because you have a lot of deliveries still left batting first. Cuts away, but straight to the fielder at deep point. Sahil is back for his final over. I wonder what the approach would be in these death overs. Will they go all out, try and score as many runs as possible? Again, it'll be interesting to see what sort of approach the bowling side gets because already nearing 200 here. Looped away and scampered through for a bye. Again, good bowling given as byes. In the air, just over, and I'll go for four. Short and slow through the air. A bit early on the shot and just over the fielder at backward point. Go for four. So the runs doesn't stop. Again, nicely bowled. Wants a single but sent back rightly by Sivanandan. Six came off that over. 1 for 38 for Sahil. It's 183 for 4 after 16 overs. So 183 for 4 after 16 overs. Vikram is back for his third over. Shot. Just punched away. Quick single. And they make it through safely in the end. Again, nicely bowled. Bit of air in that one. Just missed the middle stump, in fact. On any other day, that would have gone on to hit the stumps. Straight down the ground. And a good effort by the fielder at long on. Does well to keep it down to a single. Oh, that's missed everyone. I'll go down as byes for four. Wanted to hoik through the region of mid-on. Missed it completely. Extra bounce, in fact. And the keeper too misses it. Very lucky runs for the Yoddhas, but they wouldn't mind that at all. So runs coming thick and fast. Bowled it. That is what he tried to do earlier in the previous ball when it went for a bye. But excellent bowling. Stuck to that length, just pushed it through the air a bit. And gets rewarded, does Vikram, for his good bowling. Again, pushed it through. Just pitched it on middle stump and the off stump is gone out of the ground. Very important wicket at this stage. And the batter appreciates that delivery as well. Good cricket all round. Again, missed that length completely. Sivanandan, but a good hand as the fifth wicket falls for 189. So 189 for 5. We have about 19 balls to go in this innings. As a new batter, Nilay comes onto the crease, a left-hander to a leg spinner. Nicely bowled. Strangled him a bit for room. So 190 for 5 after 17 overs. So 190 for 5 and straight away changed bowling. Gopal comes onto the attack. Bit of off spin given the left-hander in the crease. Nicely bowled. Slight misfield allows the batter to come through for a single. Very interesting field in place here. There is a man at deep extra cover. There is a man at long on. The deep mid-wicket fielder comes inside the circle. There is a man at deep mid-wicket. And they come back for two. So there's a man at deep mid-wicket, deep square leg. Not exactly deep mid-wicket, but between long on and deep mid-wicket. In fact, there's a man at long on. There is deep mid-wicket, deep square leg. Exactly where that fielder is. But lands safe. And they come back for two. The bowler is asking the fielder to be a couple of yards inside. And there's a man at deep point as well. In short, straight to the man at extra cover. Another change in field for the left-hander. There is a man at deep mid-wicket. There is a deep extra cover. There is no deep point. Oh, nicely bowled. Very nicely bowled. Giving nothing to get underneath. Very good over so far. Just 7 off. Needs to close out well. Does Gopal. Saw the batter coming down and bowled it wide. Sensible bowling. In fact, excellent bowling. 8 off that one. 198 for 5 with 2 overs to go. So 198 for 5 with 12 balls left. Both Nile and Saurabh trying to get as many runs as possible. Oh, that's missed everyone. Has that come? Yeah, it has come off the bat. Not exactly where he wanted it to go, but nevertheless, they'll take those runs. Wanted to go over leg side, but ended up miscuing it over the keeper for 4. 200 up on the board. Helped it on its way. And I'll go to the boundary for 4. So not good bowling by Vikram this. Or sticking to the field in fact. Straying on the pads and just helped it on its way. Down on one knee. So back-to-back boundaries. One lucky and one good shot. 8 runs of the over so far. 200 on the board. Again, nicely bowled wide of the off stumps. They want to and they will get it. 10 of the first 3 balls. 10 of the first 3 balls. Again, Tikish outside edge and runs down the third man boundary for 4. So all luck going the Yoddhas' way. Again, tries to hoik it through the leg side, but Tikish outside edge and that runs through the third man fence. They might want to put that third man a little more finer to the Tigers. 212 for 5. 2 balls left. 14 of the over so far. Nicely bowled. Gets some extra bounce, but will that run away? Man at 45 does well as they come back for just 2. Oh, 3. 3 in fact. Oh, they've come back for 3. That is excellent running. Excellent awareness by the non-striker as well to be coming back for 3 given that the fielder was a little late on the throw. So final ball of the over, leading edge, and that lands nowhere. And in fact, they come back for 2. There was a little confusion between the bowler and the man at extra cover, but end of an eventful over. And Vikram finishes with 1 for 35. We are 217 for 5 with 1 over to go. So 217 for 5. Last 6 balls of the innings. That's gone for 6, has it? Yes, it has. So 6 to start the over, the final over of the innings. What a shot and what a follow through off the bat. 223 now. 5 balls remaining. Again, a leading edge. That lands safely in the hands of the short third man fielder. Four balls to go, 224 with half of the side in the hut. Slow through the air, and he's found the gap beautifully. Knew exactly what he was doing. Moved away to the off stump and just swept it through the square leg region for four. The fielder had no chance at all. So the runs coming thick and fast. Down the track, saw the batter coming. Want to come back for two, and they do get come back for two. 13 of the over so far, two balls to go, 230 on the board. Again, loopy through the air. It's down for a single to long on. So final ball of the innings. 14 of the over so far. Leading edge. Rolls down to long on for a single, which marks the end of the first innings as they get to 232 for 5. And the target for the OIS Tigers will be 233 of the allocated 20 overs. Join us after this break for the chase. Welcome back for the chase as the OIS Tigers require 233 to win of their allocated 20 overs. And it's been a carnage of a batting performance from the Yoddhas. Saurabh batted on 44, Vishal got 46. There were starts from Sivanandan as well, bit of a cameo. Vicky and Vikram opened the batting for the OIS Tigers. And we're in the power play phase of the chase. Two fielders outside the 30-yard circle are deep point and deep third man. Here we go. First ball. There's a slip in place as well and nice carry to the keeper. They're very confident with the ball given the target that they've set. And it's Saurabh who opens the bowling. Good first ball up front. Nicely bowled. Good start. As I've said, the two men outside the 30-yard circle are third man and a deepish point, or deepish backward point, in fact, specifically for that cut shot. Comes shuffles on the offside and he's pulled that away for four. So the first boundary of the chase from the bat of Vicky. You can see he shuffled across and just tapped it away over the man at square leg. And the man at 45 had no chance. The first boundary of the innings will get the Tigers underway. Maybe called a wide. But he's nicely steaming in here, sort of good pace on that one. The extra bounce works on his favor as well. His height to good run up, good release points as well. In the air and just past the bowler. And they come back for a single. Just chip past the bowler. Still a similar kind of field for Vikram. They're anticipating Saurabh to get some extra bounce from the surface. It's not a bad call at all. There's that extra bounce, beats the batter. Just missed the shoulder of the bat on the way to the keeper. Some good start by Saurabh and the Yoddhas. Might think about adding another slip perhaps for next over of Saurabh. Oh, that's picked away for six. Get a new ball this time for the Yoddhas. That's gone out of the ground, in fact. Picked the length very early. First foolish ball by Saurabh, and that's been dispatched out of the ground, out of the sight. 12 from the first over. 12 without a wicket. So it's 12 for 1. Punch down the ground, and that's gone for four. So Gopal has started off with a boundary. Nicely driven down the ground, off the front foot, and good try by the fielder at long on. Just took a catch, but ball passes through for four. Nicely played, and into the gap for four. So back-to-back boundaries for Gopal, and he's not holding back. Just picked off the length, and a lot of spaces available on that region. Short and wide, called a wide, quite rightly so. Nicely bowled and nicely played as well. So the first wicket that fell earlier in the over was a catch taken at long on, fell for the trap, the batter. But they are cruising along nicely, 21 for 1 inside 2 overs. Couple of boundaries for Gopal. Swing and a miss. It's 21 for 1 after the end of 2 overs. Saurabh to continue. His good first over, barring that last ball, was picked away for six by Vikram. And that'll be called a wide. Been getting that extra bounce, Saurabh. Steaming in nicely. Oh, full toss. Misses out on that one. Vikram might be a little gutted with himself. Not sure if Saurabh wanted that ball to be landing there, but eventually results in a dot ball. So, wide and a dot so far. That'll be called a wide again. Bit of a hesitation to take the single. 23 for 1 so far. Swing and a miss again. So Vikram is trying hard to actually go after the ball. Now very fruitful so far. Just got that 6 off the last ball of the first over. Needs to calm down a bit here because yes, the target is big, but it's been looking all right. Need not do a lot of things, especially in the power play. You could lose the plot altogether. Now nicely bowled. And that's squirted away for 4. Good Yorker length. Manages to get the bat down on time. Through the legs. Beats the fielder at 45 for 4. Again, a very interesting field in place. Long on and a third man out on the boundary. So, not exactly sure what sort of planning is that, especially after that shot of the first over. Again, tries to go again. I think that's missed the off stump by a bit. This is good battle between Vikram and Saurabh. Really good battle. Right, then they've called the third man up and sent long off back. So, two fielders outside now are long on and long off. So they want Vikram to go down the ground. Maybe expect a catch just like the first wicket. Nicely bowled, edged. Oh, that's gone. Probably that was a double bluff by pushing long off back. Second wicket down for the Tigers. Nice hard length, forcing the batter to play at it. Prods away from the body, and that's a good take by the keeper. Umpire had no hesitation at all. The second wicket down is looking good, does Vikram. 27 for 2 after 2.5 overs. So 27 for 2 as Saurabh gets his first wicket and probably a deserved one. Exceptional bowling this. Excellent battle that between Vikram and Saurabh. And the new man is Bharat. As the Tigers require 206 of the remaining 17.1 overs, 12 runs and over. And he's a left-hander, I think, probably. Yeah, indeed a left-hander. So I'll be very interested to see if Saurabh gets another over after this one. And we called a wide. Did shuffle a bit, but we called a wide as well. So Three wides in this over, but more importantly, a wicket that the Yoddhas required of Vikram. 7 runs and a wicket so far of this over. Round the wicket and just tapped away for a quick single to end the over. It's 29 for 2 after 3 overs as Bharat gets off the mark. Rahul is continuing from the other end. 29 for 2 after 3 overs. Bit of an iffy start. Nicely bowled. And swing and a miss. Again trying to enforce things here. The Tigers could eventually end up losing the plot in the power play itself. Not the ideal situation. Punched away, but no single there. Good fielding. The ring on the offside. So the two men out in the deep are long off and deep extra cover for the left-hander. Plenty of gaps available between that region, but there is a man at short extra cover for that catch. And now he's moved to extra cover region. Little inside. Down the track. Wants the single but is sent back by the partner, rightly so. Bit of a funny chat between the umpire and the bowler. Halfway down the pitch. Couldn't connect anything. I'll be wide. Tried the slow ball but just missed the line completely. Three dots and a wide so far. That's gone. That's a loose cut from the batter. And Bharat perishes. Second wicket for Rahul. Three down now, the Tigers. Short, bit of room, wanted to cut that away, no feet movement at all, and ends up edging that to the keeper. Simple catch. And the third wicket down. 30 for 3 now. 3.4 overs. 30 for 3 now. The Tigers' second wicket for Rahul as the new batter walks in is Puneet. Side is in a bit of a trouble here. So the two fielders outside for the new batter are long on and deep mid wicket, or rather a cow corner kind of a fielder. Can suggest that the length could be a lot fuller. There's a ring on the offside. Need to be aware of those LBW dismissals here. Picked away. Has he got hold of that? You bet he has. What a shot that is. As I was talking about, it'll be a foolish length. He's just flicked it for six. Look at the follow through of the bat. That's gone all the way comfortably. Second six of the innings. Wants to go again. And oh, that's. Has I been parried away for six? It has. Oh no, in fact, the umpire signals a four. Tough chance. Wanted to go again, Puneet. That travelled quickly. A little helicopter here. That's just bounced inside for four. 40 for 3 after 4 overs as Puneet gets underway with a couple of boundaries. Nicely played, but straight to the fielder. So 40 for 3, very interesting last over. There was a wicket, but there were a couple of great shots from Puneet. One that he picked off for 6. Exceptional timing. Even the second one, although it was a tough chance, but an excellent shot. Little glimpses of helicopter shots, in fact. In the air, but lands safe. The extra bounce that Saurabh's getting has been troubling most of the batters here. Back-to-back dot deliveries. As a fallen short of the keeper. There was a little noise off the bat. That falls short of the keeper. Good work. Good work by the keeper to stop those extra runs. So the two fielders outside the 30-yard circle in this over are third man and a deep point, or rather third man and long off. I've called the deep point fielder inside the circle. Third man inside the circle. It's a lot finer. There's a flying slip, in fact. Now the leg side, that'll be called a wide. Good work by the keeper. Might have just seeped through for four, but good stop. One key difference with two batting sides is the use of the crease by the batting sides. Most of the batters actually batted outside the crease in the first innings, but not so much in this innings. In the air, and just burst through for four. Might have just had his heart in the mouth for a while. Wanted to go the aerial route, just clears the fielder for four. It's an important boundary here. Little risk, but does pay off. It's another change in field here. They've sent mid off back to long on. So the two fielders are long off and long on. And there's a flying slip in third man. Shot, couldn't put that away, Gopal. Been a very interesting game so far. The two batting units using contrasting approaches. Tucked away but straight to the fielder. So end of the over. 45 for 3 after 5 overs. Last over of the power play remaining. So 45 for 3, going up at 9 runs and over. Vishal into the attack. Wants a single, Puneet, but is denied by his partner. So as I was talking about in the previous over, there's not been a lot of use of the crease by the two batters, or the previous batters have been dismissed. But the first innings, there was a lot of use of the crease. Powered down the ground for a single. Again, the two fielders outside the 30-yard circle are deep mid-wicket and long off, suggesting that the lens will be a lot fuller. Nicely bowled. Very nicely bowled, in fact. Finds the fielder this time. Very interesting field in place with a deep mid-wicket and a long off. Straight to that, to the right of the fielder of long off. Much needed boundary this for the Tigers. Picked the length early and just punched it through. So Puneet has been a bit more aggressive, and 50 is up on the board before the power play. Final ball off the power play. As the keeper has been called up to the stumps now, but no change in field. So final ball, that's tapped away for a single. So end of the power play, it's 51 for 3, the Tigers. So 51 for 3 after 6 overs as Sivanandan comes into the attack for some spin bowling. And a reminder of what happened in the power play in the first innings. The Yoddhas were 72 for 2. So difference of 21 runs and a wicket of the OIS Tigers. See how they fare in the middle overs. Tapped away for a single to deep mid wicket, or rather deep square leg. So the fielders outside the 30-yard circle, now that the restrictions have been lifted off, are deep point, long on, long off, deep mid wicket, and deep square leg. So it's very open on the leg side. So now the deep square leg comes in, and the man at extra cover has been sent back to deep extra cover. So keep an eye on the line of the ball. Again wants to go tonk it away, but just gets a single. Still the same field for Gopal. Knocked him over. What a lovely ball that. Not a great shot at all by the batter. Have a look at this one. Loopy through the air. Slight bottom edge and rolls onto the wickets. First wicket for Sivanandan and fourth one for the Yoddhas. Fourth wicket down for 53. 53 for 4, the Tigers. So the new batter in is Naveen, as Sivanandan picked his first wicket of the previous ball. Nicely tapped away, but won't get the single. In the air and beats the man at 45 for 4. Little lucky, but they will take it. Much needed boundary this for the Tigers. Again, little leg lined, top edge, but that beats the fielder at 45 for 4. End of the 7th over, we are 54 7 for 4. The Tigers. So 57 for 4 after 7 overs. Naveen got the boundary of the last ball of the previous over. Swing and a miss as Kostov comes into the attack. They've been trying to enforce a lot of shots, whereas the Yoddhas didn't do that a lot because they were calculative in the sort of total that they wanted to set. Again, a Yorker length, but just tapped away for single to long off. Again, the men outside the 30-yard circle are deep mid wicket, long on, long off, and a man at deep point. Tapped away to short third man. Couldn't find the gap. Naveen. Foolish ball. And it's found the gap for 4. Exquisite timing on that one. Just flicked it off the pads for 4. No chance for the man at deep mid wicket. So they are finding the boundaries at regular intervals. The Tigers might have just lost a wicket or two too many. That's found the gap. And no one there down. That'll run away for 4. Again, error in length and a bit of width to free the arms. So back-to-back boundaries for the Tigers. 10 of the over so far with the ball to come. 67 for 4 so far. Full toss, but he'd feel he'd miss out on that one. Single to end the over, 68 for 4. 11 came of that one after 8 overs. Sixty-eight for 4 after 8 overs. Sivanandan continues. Slow through the air. Tapped away for a single. Towels are out, wiping the ball. Nicely bowled. Just giving out a bit more air. Been bowling smartly, Sivanandan. Again, nicely bowled. This time quicker through the air and a bit more fuller, not allowing the batter to get underneath that one. So nicely mixing it up. In the air, that lands safe. In fact, beats the fielder at 30, 45. They scamper through for a couple of runs. I don't think Sivanandan would mind this one because he induced a fall short of the batter, especially the new batter, Naveen. 3 of the overs so far, 4 balls. We have a little change in field here. Point is very close, backward point in fact. It's very close to the batter. There for that shot. Completely misses that one. Good take by the keeper. Little blinded by the shot. Again cuts through to the fielder in the deep. So 4 off the over. 72 for 4 after 9 overs. So 72 for 4 after 9 overs. Puneet batting on 23 of 11 balls. Naveen just starting his innings, 8 of 9 balls. Sivanandan 1 for 10 of his 2 overs. Excellent bowling. And Kaustup to continue. Gave away a few boundaries in the previous over, but otherwise has been a bit decent. Again, leading edge. Straight to the man at short third. So if you look at the field set here, there is a man at long on, long off. There is deep mid wicket. There is a man at deep extra cover. Swing and a miss, and it misses the off stump. That was pretty close to the off stump. Oh dear, that's missed by an inch, I think. Excellent bowling. Keeping it tight. Tapped away for a quick single. Smart bowling by Kaustubh. Not giving away anything, learning from his previous over. Just a single of the first three balls so far. Oh, that's a full toss, and that's been dispatched for six. Get a new ball if you like. Be called a no ball? I don't think so. A much needed six for the Tigers. Again, foolish ball tapped away. Good cricket. Good cricket all round. Good bowling and excellent running as well. So final ball before we get to the halfway stage of this chase. Well played, but just chipped for a single. So halfway down, 81 for 4 after 10 overs as the umpires and the players take a drinks break. So it's 81 for 4 after 10 overs. Kostub is taken off the attack and is replaced by Prathamesh. We have a change of ends. So now the fielders outside the 30-yard circle are deep mid wicket, long on, long off, and a deepish extra cover. So deepish extra cover is a very interesting field position here. Wide gaps on the offside. Have to wait and see what sort of lengths they'll bowl at. In the air, fielder. Oh, tough chance, I think. Under lights, not very easy. Should have been taken, but hint of movement. Wanted to take the aerial route, but should have been taken. But under lights, not being able to spot the ball. Shot wide and cut away for 4. So this is adding insult to injury here. Short delivery, hint of room, and let's cut away through point for 4. Very nicely controlled that shot. Did Puneet. He's raced away to 34 of just 14 balls. The required run rate has now gone over 15. Foolish ball and tapped away to long on for a single. After the previous ball, the keeper had a chat with the bowler. Might have just suggested a bit of a length correction. Outside edge, and that runs away to the boundary for 4. Bit lucky there, but they will take it, the Tigers. Hits the seam, nips away. Genuine outside edge, and that runs away for 4. Had there been a second slip, would have been a simple catch. So, couple of boundaries already in this over. Swing and a miss. Plays away from the body, does Naveen, and gets connection with thin air. 10 of the over so far. 91 for 4. They're going at about 9 runs an over. They called a dead ball. Punched away over the infield for a single to long off. So, end of the over. It's 92 for 4 after 11 overs. 11 came off that one. So Kaustubh to continue from this end. None for 20 of his 2 overs. Good work, but they do come back for a single. Required run rate touching 16 now. Require 140 runs from 8.5 overs. Flicked away, and that will run to the boundary for 4 through fine leg. So Puneet is getting those important boundaries here. Not where he wanted it to go, but that will do the job. As you look at the replay here, 4 very important runs. Five of the first 2 balls so far. Full toss, and it's helped it on its way. Has it gone all the way? Have a look at the replay here. Gentle full toss. That's gone all the way. 100 up on the board for the Tigers with that 6. Tapped away for a single. So Puneet really upping the ante here. Whatever loose he's getting is just putting them away. And we can see the towels already. Signs of heavy dew. Swing and a miss. Tries to play that through the point region. And Naveen needs to understand his role here. He need not do anything extraordinary. Just play for the singles. Get Puneet on strike. Yes, the runs are a lot. 129 runs off 8 overs. In the air. Lands safe as they just get a single. 13 came off that over. 105 for 4 after 12 overs. So 105 for 4 after 13 overs, rather 12 overs. Prathamesh continues. First over went for 11 runs. Been an exciting innings from Puneet. picked away and beats the fielder at deep extra cover. Finally, Naveen gets one for four. Hold the pose. Fabulous shot for four. So another over starts with the boundary. Shot wide. Will be called a wide. So the fielders outside the circle are deep point, long on, long off, and deep mid wicket. Foolish ball and tapped away for a quick single. There is a man in the deep for the cut shot as a third man. Now they're calling him inside the 30-yard circle and pushing backward point to a deepish third man. Very interesting field in place here. So the man at deep square leg is now coming inside the 30-yard circle. They're only allowed to have 5 fielders outside. That'll be called a wide. Yep, will be called a wide and rightly so. So 7 off the over so far. It's 2 balls done. So just need to find another boundary here if they can. And Puneet holds the key for this chase. Oh, extra bounce. Nicely bowled. Good length here by Prathamesh. Good comeback after the boundary in the first ball of the over. Foolish ball. And that's 50 for Puneet. Just picked away. I think that's gone all the way. Yep. Well made 50 for Puneet here. Suddenly this over starts looking very big. Cuts fine, but finds the fielder. And all of a sudden this over looks very big now. 14 of the over so far with 1 ball remaining. What can Naveen do here? Can he finish the over on a high or no, he can't. There's an appeal for caught behind, but the umpire is not interested. So that's the end of the over. 119 for 4 after 13 overs as Puneet gets to his 50. 53 of just 21 balls. And the Tigers require 114 runs of the remaining 7 overs. So 119 for 4 after 13 overs. Puneet batting on 53. Excellent knock so far. So the new bowler is Jayesh, introduced into the attack. Oh, that's just inside the tram line. Yeah, just inside the tram line here. So starts with the dot, does Jayesh. In the air. Oh, just got a hand to it. Oh, he's all right here, Jayesh. Chance of a direct hit. Yeah, I hope he's all right. Look at that one. Hit hard. Just got a fingertip to it. And good awareness by the fielder to actually got a direct hit. Oh, nicely picked away. That'll go to the boundary for 4. Oh no, in fact, well fielded. Excellent work in the deep. Keep it down to 2 runs. Full marks to the commitment. Excellent work here in the deep. Just keep it down to 2 runs. So the fielders outside the circle are deep mid wicket, long on, long off, and deep extra cover. Comes down the track. Oh, they scamper through for a single off the overthrow. And be called a bye. Good awareness by Puneet here. 123 for 4. They've not got the boundary that they want here. It's 4 of the first 4 balls. Need a boundary here desperately. And they do get it. That's gone for 4. Gentle full toss. Hit me ball, and that's been hit away for 4. Much needed boundary this off the over for the Tigers. Suddenly the over looks an 8-run over. Not enough. I mean, they want to get another boundary if they can, but much important boundary that one. Misses that one. End of the over. 127 for 4 after 14 overs, and they need 106 from 6 overs. So 127 for 4 after 14 overs. 106 needed of 6 overs at about 18 runs an over. Again, Prathamesh to continue. Puneet holds the key here. Shot wide. It's been cut away, but there is a fielder in the deep. Cuts, but straight to the fielder in the deep. So two singles are the first two balls here. Nicely pulled away. And no one doubt this. That will go to the boundary. Shot, nicely sat up. I just helped it on its way for 4. These two are going on nicely, but is that is that enough? Still require 100 runs off 33 balls. Require run rate over 18. Helped it on its way again for 4. So back-to-back boundaries here for Naveen and the Tigers. Leg lined and just glanced away for 4. Shot fine like in place. I'll always reach the boundary. So the required run rate now down to 18. 96 of 32 required. Naveen is just accelerating a bit here, taking up the pressure off Puneet. Oh, that's chipped away. Has that gone all the way? Oh, 4 signaled. 3 boundaries, hat trick of boundaries. Now for Naveen and the Tigers. Again, foolish ball in the slot and picked away for 4. 14 of the over so far. And he's knocked him over. What a ball. Good comeback. After hat trick of boundaries, that's the sort of delivery you want to see as a bowler. Foolish ball, jacked off a length, hit the pad and knocked him over. But a fine hand by Naveen. Just played down the wrong line, I think. That's the 5th wicket down for the Tigers. 141 for 5. They need 92 of the 5 remaining overs. So last 5 overs to go, 141 for 5, and at this stage, the Yoddhas were 177 for 4. So difference of 36 runs and a wicket. And in the 9 overs that they had, or rather the 10 overs that they played, they scored 105 for the loss of 2 wickets. The Yoddhas and the Tigers have scored 90 for 2. And in the last, oh, that's picked away for 6. Not quite. That's a good catch in the boundary. Smart catch that, and the big wicket of Puneet falls. Kushal Pandey, the man who's taken the catch in the boundary, powerfully struck, couldn't get the elevation that he would have liked, and a composed catch. In fact, an excellent catch that timed his jump brilliantly. So 6 down now as Puneet walks back for a fabulous knock. 141 for 6. So the new man in is Sarjak. I have to do a lot of lifting here. 2 new batters in the crease. Not the ideal time for a wicket to fall. That two back-to-back wickets. Looking very comfortable, those two out there. Naveen and Puneet. Puneet especially played a brilliant knock as Jayesh picked up his first wicket thanks to Kushal. Again, foolish ball but tapped away for a single. Talk about that catch. Fabulously taken. Look at the jump that was timed. Just the height perfectly. Nicely bowled. Just brought the bat down on time, did Varun. Would have been an absolute goner had it hit the pads. So 91 of 4.3 overs. Scamper back for a couple of runs. Oh, shout for a run out, but the umpire is not interested. So wicket off the first ball, and then a single and a couple of runs. Nicely tapped away. So 144 for 6. They need 89 of 4.2 overs. 4.1, 88 of 4.1 with that single. Foolish ball and ends the over with a dot. 145 for 6. They need 88 of the last 4. So 145 for 6. They need 88 of the last 4 overs. What will be interesting to see is how will they pace this remaining chase here, because net run rate will surely be in their minds. That's gone. So Varun departs. Pretty tame dismissal here. Tried to flash the cut and a simple catch to the keeper. So all in all, seventh wicket down for 145. And the new man in is Siddharth. Oh, full toss. That'll be called a no ball. Tried a slow ball, but I think because of the dew, slipped out of the hand. I think it's the first warning. Yeah, that's the first warning. And follows it up with a dot ball. Not costing a lot, that no ball. So they need 86 of 3.4 overs in the air, and falls in no man's land for a single. Slightly interested for the second run, but sent back by the partner. So 148 for 7. They need 85 of 3.3 overs. 3 wickets in hand, you would always imagine that the game is more or less done. They're operating in singles here. But the second wicket for Prathamesh, although he's been a tad too expensive, but gotten the second wicket. Tapped away for a single, and that brings the 150 on the board for the Tigers. Good effort to get there with the bat. The final ball of Prathamesh's spell. Down the track, but just manages to get a single. Ends with 2 for 45 of his 4 overs. 151 for 7 with 82 needed of the last 3 overs. Knocked him over. That's the 8th wicket down for the Tigers as Jayesh picks up his 2nd wicket. Trying to take the aerial route but misses that one completely. And the bails are disturbed. 2nd wicket for Jayesh. And the 8th one down for the Tigers. 151 for 8 as Sahil walks out to bat. So new man in is Sahil. 2 for 11 of 13 balls for Jayesh. And to be giving a fair assessment of the chase so far, the major difference has been the power play, where the Yoddhas got to 70 and that's chipped down the ground for a single. So the Yoddhas got to 72 for 2, while the Tigers only got up to a 51 for the loss of 3 wickets, and that's where the difference is. Edged away, and I'll go to the boundary for 4. Just a gentle loose cut. Finds the thickish outside edge for 4. Again cuts it away down to long off for a single. So the major difference has been the power play for the Tigers, both with the ball and the bat. In fact, the middle overs yielded a lot more runs, 105 for 2. But there they tried to cover up with 90 for 2. So it's gone down the line of off stump. Try to play the paddle, Sahil. He's knocked him over. Stumps are disturbed again by Jayesh. 3rd wicket for him. And the 9th one down for the Tigers. Just been a procession of wickets. Again trying to take the aerial route. Missed the length completely. And the leg stump is disturbed. So the 9th wicket down for 157 after 18 overs. It's 157 for 9. Sahil departs. So Kostup to continue in search of his first wicket, which could be the final wicket of the innings. They need 76 off 2 overs with a wicket in hand. It's now all about what sort of net run rate they can reduce the margin of defeat. 157 for 9. Sajak on strike, 8 of 8. Oh, foolish ball. Just jammed it out for a single. That'll be called a wide. Yep. It's a matter of time here. Again, nicely played. Solid defense. Scamper through for a single as Nitesh is off the mark, I think. No? Sajak goes off strike. Again, jammed through for another single. Yeah. So 161 for 9. They need 72 off 8 balls. Flicked away, but couldn't beat the fielder at 45. They're trying to get a boundary here. The final ball of the 19th over. It's getting underway here. Full toss. Tapped away for a single. And Nitesh will retain the strike. 162 for 9 with 71 needed of the last over. '71 required of the last over. It's all mere formality, these 6 balls. Jayesh for his last over. Can he get his 4 for? Certainly can. The chances are very high here for his 4 for. Nicely bowled and tapped away for a single to long off. Bit of dew here. Ball slipped out of the hand. It's nicely punched down the ground for another single. So it's a matter of time about bowling those 4 balls or getting that 1 wicket to end the formalities, win the game. Yoddhas have been dominating this game so far. Oh, that's hit the keeper on the chest. Hope he's alright. And that's missed the off stump. Good work by the keeper. So teammates check on him a bit. Yet again a dot ball. Not that it matters the most, but nicely bowled. Again, everything's just a formality here. Last couple of balls, 69 runs. Required run rate is over 200. So can he get his 4 for here, Jayesh? Trying all he can. In the air. Ah, just falls short. In fact, they come back for 2. Can they? No, they don't. So the final ball of the innings. They need 68 of the last ball, which is surely not happening. And Jayesh with an exceptional spell. 3 for 20 so far. Can he do it 4? No, he can't. That's it. The Yoddhas win the game by 68 runs, 67 runs in fact. And a complete performance by the Yoddhas, AVM Yoddhas, take the game home by 67 runs.